Good Sunday morning, everybody. Yeah, I'm rolling my hours forward, so I'm not driving late night. It's more like early morning. Anybody out there with me? Yeah, I'm about to start driving Uber here a short bit. I guess everybody's heard about the drones up in New Jersey and a few other places being spotted. And I'm sure they're all curious what's going on. I sure am, but I don't know. There's been several scenarios that some people are thinking they may be holding info from the public because it may be excuse me, an actual search, maybe US drones, and they may be trying to use different sensors for detecting whether there's prospective chemical or radiation from things, and they're trying to hold it from the public so that they don't think it's something bad, that they would panic and rioting and looting and craziness happening. So don't know about that. It could be either or. I haven't a clue with this administration current before the change. I'm not sure that they would actually reveal to us what's going on. They're not as straightforward with all the information they know, and they're probably trying to hide things from the medias, or if they're I don't think our own military and agencies are that incompetent not to know who and what they are. I think they just want to, I don't know, they just want to cover something up so there's not panic. That's why they're saying don't shoot at them. No, we don't need to shoot them down. So I don't know, maybe let me know what you think in the comments or chats. So not sure what's going on with the chat thing. It's not letting me see chats. Let's see, maybe this is it. Chat filter, top messages, see, community moderation. How about show every message, including potential spam? No. With potential spam. Hide chat? No. Messages. Okay. Trying to see which buttons for the chat. I don't do lives that much. Highlights saved to your channel. What's this? Hey, Belican. I'm not sure what you're meaning by that, but now it's starting to show chat. Okay, well, thank you for that. At least I know that's working. Hello. I hope all is well, and I was just reaching out to whoever would see the live here, and before I get started driving Uber this morning. What you know going on about those drones? Who do you think owns them and is operating them? The ones in New Jersey. Hello, Michelle. How you doing? Cheers. I'm drinking my coffee. Anybody have thoughts about those drones in New Jersey? If you think they're U.S. drones just searching for things, let me know with a 1. If you think they're foreign adversaries drones, please chat with a 2. Pretty good, Michelle. Thank you. I hope you have your winter preps done. Oh yeah. Are they the size of a car? Yeah. Some say about the size of a dining room table. So there are industrial drones that have the spread with their wings for the rotors, you know, probably about 6 to 8 feet. So the size of the area or footprint of a smart car or a dining room table size. Kona put a girl on. I'm sorry, I'm not a girl. I don't have any girls with me right now to be able to say hi. Okay, some of you guys are crazy. But yeah, I've been curious about those drones too. What's that mean, Kona? In the water? You're dead in the water? What's going on? Okay, you guys got your winter preps done? Do you have a little food, extra water? Hey, Domingo. Anybody got their preps done? At least for short-term disaster. Never know what's going to happen. As far as long-term goes, if you have at least short-term, it'll buy you some time, a little bit, to then be able to do what you want to do if something happens. Yeah, Michelle, you don't know why they're not shot down or why they're saying not to shoot them down. Some have been saying that it's possible that they're trying to blanket coverage certain areas for sniffing out radiation from possible, maybe someone's trying to make a dirty bomb and deploy it, and they're not telling the public because they don't want mass hysteria and looting and craziness. Others say, oh, it's got to be Iran, and from that one ship, ocean ship that brings, they call it a mothership. I don't get that because, well, it's a mothership for drones, you know, to launch drones from, but it's not like we would think a mothership as far as in the air. It's, yeah, one senator or congressman has said that that one ship, mothership, is off the eastern coastline and is thought to be deploying these drones, but I don't know. There's some other speculation that they may be U.S. drones just to try to sense, like, say, radiation from possible nuke or other that may have been smuggled here or gotten here or made here somehow. If someone's trying to make a dirty bomb, it would sniff out some of that radiation from it. And hey, that would be a very efficient way to sense a broader area, is a whole bunch of drones with these sensors on it and blanketed area to try to get readings, instead of the way they used to deploy them by having them on helicopters and manned helicopters having to go out. It'd take a lot of helicopters to match what those drones could do. So it'd be much more efficient and cover more ground quickly if you don't have the helicopters. But biggest thing, is much more affordable if that's the case. But that's a speculation, you know. We don't know yet. They haven't told us. And I don't think they're that incompetent, you know, to not know whose and what they are. So it may be a cover-up for trying to sniff out something bad. And they don't want to cause mass panic. I don't know. What do you think, Michelle? Yeah, that would be nice. I'm sure he would try to get down to the bottom of it pretty quick. And at least he would give a rational and reasonable explanation. I'm sure Trump would. Right now, I'm sure if they are trying to sniff out possible radiation from someone trying to deploy something bad, then, you know, I sort of understand it, but, you know, they should put some people on alert, at least the local law enforcement. There's a lot of them. Steve Ram, he's one on YouTube that does a lot of lives and gives info, and evidently he has one anonymous. He's not going to give his name. He kept him anonymous. There's a New Jersey police officer and has sent in some video showing one of the drones going down, or crashing, falling in the sky. Maybe it had a malfunction, don't know. But they are not telling their LEOs what's going on. Their law enforcement, emergency response, and there may be only some hazmat and bomb squads that may know. And they're having to keep hush-hush and a lid on it. For whatever reason, they're not telling us. So one's gone down, and people, well, no, supposedly a second one now has gone down. And they're not giving any detail about what they're finding. They're just telling people stay back, you know, don't get close to it. You know, if it is something threatening, I mean, it's just like as if a car may be on fire or something like that, and the emergency responders are there, and they're trying to keep, you know, normal civilians away from the area. So in case something like the rest of a gas tank explodes or something, who knows, you know? They just don't want people to get hurt. Don't want them to get too close. But they're not saying what they find in the drones. It'd be neat to know if something comes out or is leaked. I don't know. Steve Ram, Next News Network explains a lot of that. Whatever detail they see on different articles posted, any leaks they know. And of course, you know, if you want a rumor to get out, you know, you tell one of these guys, but they'll tell the world. However, yeah, I just know about that. I just know about what's here. I'm in Central Texas, and right here, I don't know what weather's going to bring us. What's going to happen with everything. You know, if Itchy Fingers wants to try to do what he's been promising and fire off a couple ICBMs with nuclear warheads and detonate them in the upper atmosphere to cause EMP, then there goes our grid. There goes a lot of electronics. There goes operation of a lot of vehicles. Probably 30 to 70% of vehicles wouldn't operate after something like that, depending on how close to epicenter. And then, yeah, we'd be back in the Stone Age. So some of those preps to protect some of your handheld electronics that you'll want, whether it's two-way comms, whether it's other, I don't know, maybe a police scanner, so you can hear emergency radio if they do operate after something like that, you know. Be able to protect them in a Faraday type container. Man, you can use a cookie tin, you can use a popcorn tin. Popcorn tins are great with the round lid, the 5 to 6.5 gallon ones, because they seal up good and they're all metal. So you'll be able to insulate the inside of that so it keeps items off of the edges, and then the metal, when it's all closed up, helps to what is called attenuate that RF pulse in the air from the EMP just on the metal itself and not protrude inside. I mean, you can do a cell phone test, see if it's keeping out signal or preventing signal to get to the phone. Put it on cellular, not your Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is weaker, you want it on stronger. If you're close to a tower, it's great because you know the test is really good. Put one of your cell phones in there and then try to call it with another phone. And if it holds, if it's not getting signal that phone inside the can, then it's attenuating signal and pulse and radio frequency, you know, electrons around the items inside of it. Now, another way, simple way, are some of these devices like EMP Shield. They make very fast surge protection that you can plug in. One's for home, business, for AC electric, and it will help to shunt to ground any overvoltage pulse in about a nanosecond, thus protecting sensitive components in electronics plugged into the same electrical system, at least on the home, within 250 feet of code compliant wiring. There is resistance in the wire, so you know, the further out it is, it takes longer time for it to shunt that over voltage at that end, that distance over the 12 gauge wiring in your home to ground. So if it's within that long, generally most homes don't have that much wire on its, from its breaker box to extended, I don't know, wall outlets where you plug something in. So you can always add more with the RV plug-in at those further ends. But nevertheless, there's devices out there for simple, you know, EMP protection of electronics if it's plugged in. It has to be plugged into that same system. And speed's the factor. Speed is the factor. And EMP Shield's the only company I found that's actually had their product tested by Keystone compliance and far exceeded DoD's required specs for U.S. military use. And at least using my discount code, the Simple Prepper, on their website will save you $50 off per unit, as well as they're running a Cyber Monday sale. If you buy one, if you buy 2 or more, 3 or more, or 5 or more, they give up to 15% site-wide that will be coupled with a discount code from affiliate like myself. So you can save, if you're buying 5 or more, you can save up to 30% off on average. So that's not bad instead of just 15%, you know, or average 15. $50 is about 15% almost. 13, 14%. So, you know, depending on what unit, some cost more. But anyway, I won't bore you with all that right now. The main thing is there's simple measures to be able to protect, and there's also retrofit, you know, electronics and stuff that our electric companies can be hooking to the transformers and with our grid to be able to protect our grid, but they're not doing it. Some of them are. There's a few. Was it CPI or CPS with CenterPoint in San Antonio? And it's mainly for the grid to stay powered for supplying power to the Air Force bases and some of the infrastructure around, which includes some of the neighborhoods and the areas on those same grids. I think there's a county in South Carolina at the north end that's doing it. And then I know I'm not sure about the electric grid, but any place that's powered by a nuclear power plant, the nuclear power plant itself has to be protected. And they do that so they can keep their systems to keep things cool so there's not a meltdown. There's not a Chernobyl situation. So they have to protect the power plant itself, but all the distribution lines, transformers and all, out in substations for switches, they haven't protected yet. So we got a lot to do here in the States, and it'll take some time to do if they ever get these electric companies to own up to be able to do it. There's what, 3,000 some different electric companies in the US, and it's like all what they do on safety standards is left up to electric companies, you know, as far as this type of protections. I just wish they would do it. Watch Grid Down, Power Up. If you haven't seen it, you can see one of my videos. Last one posted up was Texas Congress panel after a viewing. And of course it was streamed, so most of the reps and senators were able to view it remotely and not have to be at the showing of the documentary narrated by Dennis Quaid. But nevertheless, that panel discussion, some of those people are mentioned in the video, the documentary Grid Down, Power Up, and give some explanation and some talk and insight. So that's pretty neat to see if you want to go watch that. Well, anyway, guys, I'm going to have to get going. I'm going to have to, what do you call it, go 10-8 online on Uber. Try to earn some money this morning. And I might have a buyer for some extra PV wire that I have for solar panels. Had a little extra in a 50-foot roll of black and red, and threw it up on Facebook Marketplace. Maybe someone will need that too. It'd be good for that little extra you need on building your project or a small project. But anyway, Merry Christmas, Syndrome. Thank you for that. And I hope you all have a Merry Christmas and a good holiday time and Happy New Year. If I don't get to hear from you again on the lives, but thank you for watching with me and staying with me. I'm sorry my enunciation is not great. I'm missing a few teeth. So my tongue doesn't roll against the teeth properly on some syllables. But thank you for being with me and waiting through me, through it. Well, I hope to see you on another one. Get some at least standard preps done. Remember the buy two rule. If you buy two at the store instead of just one that you're replacing some non-perishable item, then you go to the store after you've eaten that one, you buy two. And then when you've just eaten one, and you go back to the store again, but you still have an extra one, so you had two before, in your pantry, buy another two to replace that one you just did until you keep on adding to get the depth of pantry that you want. It's not to break the bank. You don't have to buy everything all at one time, although it's handy too. But if you keep a working pantry and dates in order, and non-perishables that you normally like to eat, at least you have something. And then things that you need water for, make sure you have extra water for it. If you have to use it for cooking, whether it's rice, whether it's noodles, you're going to need some clean water for cooking those type of things that are non-perishable. Some extra cooking oil if you like to cook things up, like saute some vegetables and then some meat. And just those little few extra things in case something happens and stores don't get restocked for 2 weeks to a month. Never know what might happen. Sort of like that freeze in 21 down here in Texas, man. Stores, their shelves were still empty for quite some time afterwards. about 2.5 weeks after, then shelves started getting more filled up as deliveries were able to be made because roads were impassable. And whatever distribution houses, they couldn't get their employees in because, down here, that's a 100-year storm. We don't get ice like that. I mean, the roads were skating rinks. It's like the Zamboni machine went over it, and then more snow came and packed it down, and it melted just a hair, not evaporate, and refreeze like the Zamboni went over. So, yeah, it was just compacted ice. And, cars weren't having it. They could just barely keep the roads on, like, I-35 between San Antonio and Dallas salted. A lot of bridges and overpasses. It was hard for them to keep up with keeping the ice from accumulating, even with salt, even with sand. So I heard on the CB there's a lot of truckers they were calling out, saying, "Man, watch out for that guy. He just went off the road and half his trailer's sticking in the road." There's at least 5 accidents or slide offs the road to the outside median between the service roads or into the divider in the middle and stuck, because the ice and a lot of hills coming in to Austin. There's rolling hills, and some people, they just couldn't make it up. Some of your big trucks, they were able to stay centered in their lane and have enough weight to crush some of the ice and make it down and up. Some couldn't, some didn't. Some just got a little bit too slick out there under their tires and went off the side. And so 5 average. Some a few days there was like 3, and other days there's 7 or 8. From on the CB, I could hear from my house when I go in my car, charge my cell phone, turn the CB on with the antenna on my car, and here over at I-35, within about 2.5 miles north of me on 35, 2.5 miles south, and within that 5 miles, just in that sector, average 5, not stalls, but they couldn't operate their car and sliding out or stuck on the side of the road or in the middle of the road, and some accidents. Average 5 a day within this 5-mile stretch. So where I couldn't hear them talking about it further on, there's a lot of truckers out there that don't have CBs in their CB radios in their vehicle, in their truck. So imagine how much cleanup. These wreckers had to put chains on their tires and go and try to get people off the road because they just couldn't get them pulled totally away. But yeah, we had those ice road truckers down here in South, heavy rescue, and that they would have known what to do and how to do it. But here we just don't have as many for that condition. So if it happens again, well, plan to stay at home, stay with your bug-in preps, and hopefully you can build a network, friends or people that have like CB radio. If you get your ham license, or talk to you on FRS radios in the neighborhood, just as a backup to know what's going on around your area. And it's really handy. And for me, as the crow flies 2 miles down the road, I got a guy that goes by Shortcut as a CB handle. Became friends with him, and at least I know what's going on down there. And then when he had his other CB antenna tower, I was able to get a guy that goes by 747. He's 30 miles northwest of me, and we're able to talk to each other at that time. But a storm took out his big 60-foot antenna tower. So he's got a shorter tower now, and he can't hear me. Sometimes I can barely hear him. But yeah, some of these communications can go to distance. All right, guys, I know I get on my box about simple preps. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll hopefully have another live before too long. I know I haven't done other videos on different media or material. Hopefully I'll come up with something for you soon. I've been wanting to get my fishing gear set up and ready to go again. I just haven't been able to go fishing and working late nights. So often driving Uber that the daytime action and doing the fishing stuff and getting out, you know. I need to restring my reels. I need to set up a simple way to do that. Be able to spool off, you know, a spool and just make a simple spool axis for a spool to turn off the of course, fishing line. But it can be simple. Do those simple things. Don't have it wandering all over the ground and getting tangled. But have a good one, and we'll see you on the next one, guys. It's been a pleasure, and we'll talk to you soon. Now, how do I shut this one off? How do I hit stop? I guess I hit X. I don't do lives. Okay. Are you sure you want to stop?